Hi, this is Mark, and I am in downtown San Francisco on the 13th floor of a building around 4th and Market where I teach yoga to a corporate office. And I'm doing my reading now from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt with the Integral Yoga symbol and the yantra in the middle there. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so this is for December 10th. And again, I'm catching up a little bit here, so this is the topic from then. Even your living is your imagination. Imagination is literally what you think, what kind of image you have about yourself and about others and about things. First comes self-image, and that image projects itself onto other things and creates imaginations. All of your imaginations depend upon your image, and your image is actually based on your experience of yourself. So it originates from within. That's why we say the entire world is your own projection. You project your image onto everything. Everything is seen with your own vision. In that sense, we are continuously imagining. Even your living is your imagination. Because you are imagining that you are alive, you are alive. If you seriously begin to imagine that you are dying little by little, you will die. It has been proven. If you seriously imagine that you are losing all of your strength, in half an hour you will collapse. It will happen. Always remember to think beautiful, positive thoughts. As you think, so you become. Yeah, good message here. Talking specifically about our life, and having positive thoughts towards that to help maintain a healthy and strong and sustainable being. And it's true, there have been stories, where actually through doubt and negative thinking, and even if someone's been told, they're going to die soon, that's been, there have been stories where this has happened because people are just hearing that that's what's happening to them. Their cells in their body and the way their mind works. It's so powerful that power of suggestion can completely shift the outcome of things. And so I like here that he's reminding us how powerful our imagination is and that it does come from within. We are creating this world as we know it, and it's hard to fully comprehend that sometimes, because you're like, well, I didn't design this building and I didn't create this 13th floor deck, but I guess on some realm we're agreeing that this is the world that we live in, and that we're agreeing that there are people who build buildings and create things that we then get to step into, teach yoga there. So all of this, we're just creating this worldview that it's, I don't know, that's a tough one, to really imagine how did I create what's going on right now. That wasn't in my imagination. Maybe there's a collective imagination that's putting some of this together, or when we're being passive and we're not actually activating our positive imaginations in the world, other things can take over, some of the negative imaginations of others, and it taps into somewhere in us this negative imagination. But you can be in a situation and someone can see the bright side of it. So even though it may be a terrible, horrible circumstance, there's some way that we might be able to reframe what we're seeing. And I feel like a lot of people are starting to think that way about what's happening in our world now, rather than giving into it as like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened and we're doomed, there's no way out. What if we start to shift the way of thinking towards, wow, this is an interesting opportunity right now that we've not been, I haven't been confronted with before in my life. I think others have, and I think others have made it through even more difficult things. I wonder how they've done that. Somehow people make it through. And we do that as a community, as a local community, national, global community. And that's what I feel is maybe sometimes the waking up is that we're not doing this alone. It's not just us. but there is a collectiveness about our positive thinking and our negative thinking. So I feel like if you can, do your best to have as much positive imagination and positive thinking to be part of that ripple of that positive energy, rather than being that ripple of the negative energy and the kind of the downer energy, doubting things are going to be able to be resolved, not having faith that this can shift and this could actually turn into a positive, but continually having that feeling that this world of duality is a mistake. That leaves the mind in a pretty vulnerable place. But to think that this world of duality is actually teaching us the lessons that each of us needs to learn, the very lesson we actually need for this being that we are in this lifetime. It's going to be different for every person. Look at all the different reactions we get from all kinds of things, and different reactions your friends give you based on things you share with them. Some are like, oh my God, that's so cool. Other friends might be like, why did you do that? And other friends like, oh, I don't know. Well, I did this, So it's just the same way. The mind responds so differently. But we have the power to be able to align our actions with our truest and deepest thoughts and feelings. And yoga gives the pathway to understand that. As do other spiritual practices. Buddhism as well has, the Eightfold Path. There's all these different ways of being able to find the pathway. I happen to feel that, yoga suits me because of the body, mind, spirit connection. And it's through our physiology that I really see that transformation can happen. We learn stuff about the way our own body can operate and function, and in ways that we may not even realize unless we really begin a practice that kind of opens our minds to what's possible. So I love that it's, he's helping us see really the two sides of this, having a beautiful imagination versus having one that's, a doubtful imagination, a negative imagination. And maybe look at your day and see how that's operating. All right, even your living is your imagination. That would take some time to ponder and meditate on that, just to let that be a meditation. Sometimes those things you can't answer immediately, the answers may be in there. You just need to pause long enough. Let those things come forward, and sometimes they come forward and not in the form of words, but images. Okay, thanks for being a part of this. See you soon.